Hi everyone, this is Ryan Hoyme, and I'm the Director of Social Media for Bon Batel. And today we have a very special guest, Susan Epperly. Hi, welcome Susan.
Hi.
Uh,
Hey, Ryan.
yeah.
How are you?
And we're going to be talking about humor, so something we all need, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the main thing we're going to be talking about too is a comic strip that you just started with Massage and Bodywork magazine then.
hmm
So how did you come up with that, and why did you want to bring that to the masses then?
Well, let's see. It was, I guess, last year, so in 2011. I came up with the idea, I guess, because I was kind of feeling like I wanted to do some sort of. We have a blog, but I'm just not that diligent about creating blog entries and obviously when you have a blog you want to post something meaningful and make contributions on a regular basis, and my schedule just kind of wasn't allowing for that, and I wasn't feeling particularly motivated or inspired to do that. So I thought, well, another great way to kind of make a contribution and put some good vibes out there might be to do a cartoon. And so I started doing some cartoons last year. I just do one now and then, and as funny things happened in our clinic, I would make a note of them and make a cartoon out of them. And, I turned around, before I knew it, I had about a dozen cartoons. And I went ahead and I approached Massage and Bodywork magazine, and they really dug it, and they were real excited about it, and they thought that that would make a good contribution to the magazine. And so that's where it started, and now it's going to be in Massage and Bodywork magazine, put out by ABMP, in every issue for the next year, for starters. So it's it's just really exciting. I'm really jazzed about it. So I really hope that folks enjoy it and find it to be entertaining. So
And why do you think it hasn't really gone mainstream yet for comic strips for related to massage? Once in a great while, you might see something, but
yeah, obviously, surfing around on Facebook and whatnot, people will post a cute, funny cartoon now and then that's related to massage. I don't know of any massage strips that are devoted entirely to massage therapy. It's a pretty niche market for every single comic strip to be devoted to massage. Wouldn't necessarily appeal to somebody who's not a professional massage therapist. So yeah, I thought, I think there's a place for this. I think that, massage folks are fun people. They like to laugh just like anybody else. And, we certainly have a wealth of funny things that happen to us in our career and everyday life. So, yeah, like I said, I don't know that there's another one that's entirely devoted to massage. But that's kind of what I set out to do, was to create one that massage therapists will find to be entertaining. So,
and are you going to make these available on Facebook and other platforms too then, so people can share them then, or?
yeah, actually, I've got the comics that I created for starters. They're going to be viewable on our website, which is tigerlilystudios.com. I created a fan page on Facebook where people can see them. And then I've actually got quite a bit of merchandise that I created with some of the images, and that's available on Zazzle.com/TigerLilyStudios. And then you want to put a little asterisk at the end. That's always awkward to have to say. You want to put the little star at the end of Tiger Lily Studios. Um, but yeah, so those are all places that you can see the comics. And then Massage and Bodywork magazine, fantastically, is available online. They have every issue that they put out, they have a digital version that they put online. And so you'll be able to go and see the cartoon on the online issue of Massage and Bodywork magazine, excuse me, every month. And let's see, today is Wednesday the 20th, so tomorrow, Thursday the 21st, the first cartoon will be visible in the July-August online issue of the magazine. So yeah, there are going to be lots of places you can see it. And actually, the first 12 cartoons that I did, those are all available on merchandise on Zazzle. But I've also done a good handful of cartoons for the magazine that will premiere in the magazine. So that'll be the only place that you'll be able to see them. They'll just be that'll be the first time that they'll be released is in the magazine. So.
And how do you come up with these ideas? Are they from your actual experience with massage then, mostly relating to clients then, or how does that go about?
Yeah, it's funny. I just, the ideas that I come up with for the cartoons, they come to me all the time. I mean, a lot of them are based on interactions with clients. As you know, having been a teacher, a lot of situations come up in the classroom that are funny. And so I just kind of draw on my interactions with my clients, with fellow MTs, with colleagues, and coworkers, and, folks that experience those same types of things. So yeah, I mean, once you start kind of thinking in that mode, it's like, so many situations present themselves as having the potential to be funny, and I have a client who, he's actually a legislator, but he has a good friend who's a newspaper columnist, and we were talking about the comic strip, and he was saying that he had lunch with this friend who's the newspaper columnist, and they were chatting at lunch, and the columnist, started writing something down, and my client was like, well, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm making a note for my column because this could be kind of funny. And my client was like, well, that's not really funny. And he's like, well, I'll make it funny. So, it's, things in everyday life, I guess, you think about them in a little different way. And yeah, they can definitely be presented as something comical. So.
And I know for myself, I mean, when I first started making videos in 2006, I was so afraid to bring humor into it because I was afraid to be judgmental and everything else and stuff like that. So, how do you deal with that then?
Well, it's funny. I was thinking about the fact that I was thinking in general about, incorporating humor into, say, your interactions with your clients, your interactions with your students, and just on an everyday basis, and really I think ultimately when you show that you're willing to kind of go out on a limb and potentially risk making yourself look kind of dumb. I mean, when you try to be funny, maybe it's corny, maybe it's silly, and you're kind of showing to the other person that, listen, I'm willing to kind of put myself out there in an attempt to make you feel more comfortable or to give you a laugh or, to make you happy. And I think that that's a really giving thing to do for people. And I think that people can see that and they can appreciate it. And even if they don't think it's funny, like even if they think it's really corny and silly, I think that creates kind of an endearing connection because they're seeing that, hey, this person is, really working to try to make me laugh. And I think that's really significant in therapeutic relationships, teacher-student relationships, coworker relationships, any kind of relationship, interpersonal relationships. I mean, it's just really, I think it's just so important, and it can work really well to create that kind of special connection.
Yeah, because I definitely think the massage profession needs more humor too. So
yeah, it's I was thinking too as we approached this interview, the idea of using humor in your own marketing, your own career, your own practice, and I think it's just really powerful. And I think it's unfortunate that not a lot of people leverage that for themselves. Your skills, your abilities, your professionalism, all of that goes without saying is super, super important. I mean, that's the foundation of your professionalism. But if you can communicate to a client before they've ever even met you that you've got a sense of humor, then that may cause them to choose you over someone else. And I mean, let's face it, you have to have the goods. You have to have, good, solid skills. But someone's got to look forward to spending an hour with you. You know what I mean? So, if you found the best therapist in the world, or the best whatever sort of practitioner in the world, the best, hairstylist or nail technician or whatever, if you're thinking about spending an hour with them and you're like, oh, this is going to be fun, then, that's not going to last. So, you got to make it fun. And again, I think incorporating it into your marketing can be really powerful. And I'd love to see more therapists do it. It can be tricky. It can be difficult, because you don't want to offend folks. You don't want to cross the line and say something that, someone might find offensive. And you also don't want to risk not being taken seriously. I mean, you want to communicate the idea that you do know what you're doing. One thing that Shane and I have done in our practice, we've created some business cards, kind of alternate business cards. They're not really our regular business cards, but they're some different ones that we use from time to time. And they're funny. And usually they, give people a chuckle, and then that will kind of create the connection. And then they'll go to the website. And once they get to the website, that's where they see that, oh, these people really know what they're talking about. These people really know what they're doing. Because we have, of course, a wealth of information there that's more serious and more to the point, of here's what we do and here's how we do it. But it's kind of the laugh that made the connection and got them to go there. So, I think that used appropriately, humor is a super, super powerful marketing tool.
And for myself, when I was teaching, I always gave the example of, let's say you're going to go to a restaurant and you have a great waiter or waitress, but they don't have much of a personality. You're less likely to tip that person than somebody that forgets every now and then but has a great personality. So,
Exactly. You're exactly right. Because at the end of the day, any sort of service industry interaction, it's a relationship. And you want to connect with the person, and that's going to carry you a long way. Like you said, maybe they didn't fill your iced tea as quickly as you'd like, but hey, when they came and they did it, they made a joke and they made you smile, and all was forgiven. So it's really important. So.
And have you been doing comic strips for many years then? So.
Well, in high school, I actually was the art editor of my high school newspaper, and I did the comics for the newspaper in high school. So that was kind of, I guess, where I started with it. I've always been, I've always drawn, I've always been artistic, I've always been into art and drawing and all sorts of mediums. But, in high school, I really got into journalism and not only writing for the paper, but doing the artwork. And that was really fun. And so when I started thinking about this massage therapy comic strip, that really kind of brought back some neat memories for me because, I hadn't had cartoons published since then. And so it's kind of fun to get back into it now. So.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I mean, even for myself too, back in high school, I would just hand draw things all the time and kind of try to do funny things and stuff. But I wasn't the greatest artist, but at least I was able to get some stuff across.
Yeah. No, I encourage everybody, to exercise their creative muscle, so to speak. And that's another thing I thought we could touch on is just the idea that, regardless of what your creative talent is, I just think it's so important that you try to integrate that into your practice, your marketing, your career in general. So whether it be, drawing or writing or knitting or whatever, there are definitely so many ways that you can incorporate that into your brand identity, because again, you're selling yourself as a whole package. And Alyssa Haynes in particular, she has some great materials out there about marketing yourself as yourself and using your own personality, your own sense of humor, your own creativity as kind of branding points for yourself. And maybe you're into crafting or whatever, or like I said, knitting, or it may be something that seems totally separate from and irrelevant to massage, but really, I think at the point at which you decide to integrate those pieces of your life is where it's really going to come together for you. I know that we found with our marketing campaigns, we kind of hit this point where it was like, well, gosh, if we incorporate like all these talents and interests of ours into this practice, then that offers us so much more to offer, basically. And it's really been true. I think that once we accepted that and really embraced that, that's kind of where our practice really took off. And it makes me sad, to see therapists who kind of compartmentalize these aspects of their life and decide that, well, that's kind of separate from massage, and I don't need to try to meld those because they don't really have anything to do with each other. But they really can. I mean, that involves some creativity too sometimes to figure out how they can fit together. But there are definitely, awesome ways to do it. So.
And for myself too, for my regular clients, it seems like over time, it seemed like a lot of the clients that kind of had similar personality as myself stayed with me a lot longer too. So.
Yeah. Well, as you know, I mean, you see these people, maybe on a weekly basis, and you chat a lot, you share a lot, you become, kind of aligned, and obviously, again, there's that fine line between friendship and therapeutic relationship, but, you spend enough time with someone and you really kind of get into a groove with them, and you get each other, and you get that, like I was saying, you want to keep it appropriate, but after you've seen someone so many times, you kind of know, okay, well, I don't think so-and-so would find this too amusing, I better keep that one to myself. But so-and-so, on the other hand, now they're going to think this is funny, and you just kind of have to play it carefully like that, obviously. But yeah, as you know, it's the longer you've seen somebody, the easier it is to figure that out. So.
And do you sometimes feel like an actor in a way, just with clients, because you have to have different kind of personalities with everybody in a way? So.
That's an interesting question. That's an interesting point. Yeah, I think that ultimately, you're going to have the most success and the most genuine success, I guess, is the best word I can think of, if you're just your genuine self, and obviously there's a filter, like I said, there's a filter there that you kind of adjust accordingly, because some clients, are going to be more or less receptive to certain topics or jokes or whatever. But yeah, I think that basically operating as your own true self with a little bit of filter there is a good idea. But I think in general in life, it's clear that people who are able to kind of adjust to different audiences, so to speak, are more successful. It's like when you're writing, you want to take into account who's my audience, who am I writing for, and I suppose that's true in a professional setting too. Who is my audience? Who am I talking to here? And that can become difficult when you're trying to write something or create something for a large group of folks. Like, say, for example, all the multitude of people who will be looking at your website. Writing for your website can be a challenge in that way, because it's not a direct conduit to one person or one client. So that can become a little trickier. But yeah, that's an interesting question. What do you think? Do you feel like you sometimes feel like an actor? I mean, teaching is a huge, I taught for several years. I actually taught English as a second language overseas as well as here in the States. And there was a lot of acting involved in that. I mean, that's like, you got to entertain those folks to keep them engaged. And so, yeah, I guess sometimes I feel like I still enlist that skill, Sometimes when I'm, explaining trigger points to someone, for example, I find myself getting kind of animated and telling little stories and anecdotes and, analogies, but it helps them understand, it helps them learn, and that's what's important. But what do you think? Do you feel like an actor sometimes?
Definitely. And then when I was teaching, especially with my students, I had to bring the humor in there as much as possible, because you don't know if somebody's one of the students had a really bad day, and whenever you have a really negative person, sometimes they overtake everybody. So that's why I had to take control as much as possible with the humor. And
absolutely. And I think teaching too, I think humor is kind of the great equalizer. It's like, if a student comes into an environment and they're kind of threatened by the authority of the teacher, they may not be as receptive to the information that's presented, but once you crack a joke and you kind of show that, hey, I'm willing to make myself look silly for you, that's a big risk that I'm taking. I'm putting myself out there, And so then maybe the students are more likely to be more receptive and think, hey, well, if they're willing to do that, then I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to give them a chance, So.
And the nice thing is, too, with Zazzle, I love their quality of their products, too. Compared to some other ones. Yep.
Yeah. I know you've got some stuff. I looked at your stuff the other day. You've got some cute stuff on there. And you had said that you tried, was it Cafe Press as well? And I've never tried them, but I have a designer client, actually, who said that she kind of tried both, and she preferred Zazzle. So I chose to go with Zazzle. And so far, I've been really super happy with the quality of the product. So I've got mugs and calendars and tote bags and you name it on there. So it's a lot of fun to create that stuff too. And that's been fun to put that little shop together, because it's kind of like, creating this little boutique for massage therapists, because I'd say 90% of our stuff is designed for massage therapists. There's some kind of yoga themed stuff. And as we progress, I'm going to start to add some more, of just my art designs that don't necessarily have anything to do with massage. But thus far, it's been really fun, to create this kind of little online boutique that's just for massage therapists, because how many places can you go and find little gifts and goodies? There's the supply catalogs, of course, but this is someplace that, even someone who's not a massage therapist and just wants to get their massage therapist a great gift, could find something fantastic. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can definitely see that as, so that's a really good thing you can recommend to the clients to give to you, too.
Here's my list.
Yep, yeah.
There's actually a sale on Zazzle right now. You can use, what's the code? I wrote it down. Fun Sun Summer. You can enter that code when you check out, and you'll get 10% off your whole order. So that would be stuff in my shop, stuff in your shop, anything. So that can be something that folks can take advantage of if they'd like.
Yeah, and with Zazzle, the nice thing, too, is if you're on their mailing list, you can get some of these coupons every now and then, too, and also with Cafe Press and everything else, too. So
yeah, send out little specials now and then. So
yep. And then the nice thing about this, too, it's a little bit of a passive income in a way, too. So
yeah, definitely. And, again, as far as like the incorporating your own talents into your career, your practice and whatnot, that may mean using your own talents to further your massage practice, to get more massage clients, or maybe make a name for yourself in the industry if that's your goal, is to become, more of an educator. But also just, you want to, I'm totally losing my train of thought. I'm mesmerized by those big massage nerd eyes on my screen. Yeah, anyway. So where I was going was, yes, you can use your talents to further your massage practice and get more clients and get more acquaintance if that's what you want. Or you can use those talents to create a whole nother kind of passive income stream, in a different direction. And that, of course, as we know, is important for us because, we use our bodies to do the massage, and that's not entirely, it's not exactly a renewable resource all the time. We need to evaluate how many hours we're expending physical energy in a day and how many hours maybe we can do something else that's less physically draining. And yeah, definitely Zazzle or any of these types of sites is a great way to do that. And, I've used my artwork, in this particular case, the comic strip, I've used the comics to create products on Zazzle, but I've also just come up with funny ideas and created T-shirts and tote bags and whatnot that just have text on them. You know, so it doesn't necessarily take artistic talent to do this. You know, if you just got kind of a funny streak and you want to create something that you think other folks would think is funny, you can just go on there and create it with just the text and go from there. So, yeah, that's another great thing about it.
And I could see people even uploading their logos and buying their own merchandise, or
yeah, and that's something too. I mean, you don't, when you post things, I guess, I mean, we're talking about Zazzle. I guess we should explain how it works. But you know, on Zazzle, you create your own design, and then you can either buy it yourself if it's something like you said for your practice. You want to create T-shirts that have your practice name on it or your business name on it, maybe for your staff as uniforms. You can do that, or you can choose to make the products available for other folks to buy, which is what, you know, I've done with the comic strip stuff. And then when people buy the products, Zazzle creates the product, so they don't make it until somebody buys it, so it doesn't cost you anything. Somebody orders it, they make it, and then you get paid a royalty for having designed the product. So, you know, it's if you've got extra time and you want to you know, work on designing some products, like I said, it doesn't cost you anything. You just go on there, you do it, you put them up for sale, and you see what happens. So if folks buy it, then you make a little money, and if not, then, you know, you had some fun making them.
Yep. Then you can just buy them for yourself, then.
Yeah, sure, totally.
Yep. And then the comic strips in the Bodywork magazine, are those going to be all original then to start off with, or?
Yeah, like I had mentioned, some of them will be, like this one, for example, the one that's going to be in the July-August edition, which I got my comp copies, I think, yesterday, but I'm not sure when subscribers are going to get them. Probably any time now. The online version is going to be available tomorrow. But the one that will appear in the July-August issue is brand new. That one is not on any products in the Zazzle shop yet. I did it just for the magazine, and they're gonna, you know, run it this month, and then later on, you know, it'll be available on products. But yeah, it'll depend. Sometimes there'll be comics that have already been kind of released, so to speak, in the shop, and sometimes there'll be comics that are brand new for the magazine. Because you know, we wanted to give Massage and Bodywork the chance to kind of pack a little punch and, you know, premiere some of these for the first time. So that'll be fun.
And have you ever seen humor backfire at all in the massage profession, or?
For backfire? Well, yeah. I mean, fortunately, I don't really have any, you know, stories of my own to offer up. But yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible. You know, if you tell a joke that someone thinks is inappropriate or you know, off color, then that's problematic. And of course, I mean, certainly we have to be super sensitive to, you know, inappropriate or quasi-sexual type humor, which, you know, we don't even go near, because that's not a good idea on any level. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's entirely possible. Fortunately, I don't have any personal experience with it. But that I know of, you know, that's the thing. It's like maybe someone was offended by something, and if they don't say so, then you don't know. But how about you? Have you ever seen that happen or had an experience with that happening?
Not yet. I just don't want it to happen. I mean, I make shirts and things like that, like "Who's your fascia" and stuff, but try to have
yeah, people ones too. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, people in the massage profession understand it, just like you were saying before, but the average public might not understand it, though.
You know, my clients ask me about this cartoon strip, and I have a wall calendar hanging in my room with the cartoons on the calendar. And, you know, some of them will look at it, and I'll be like, okay, be prepared. Like, since you're not a massage therapist, you're probably going to think it's stupid. Like, you're not going to get it. And some of them like, yeah, you're right, I don't get it. My mom sometimes, she's like, yeah, I don't get it, but I'm sure it's funny. I have one cartoon that's about, I guess I Yeah, there's really no way for me to show it to you. But anyway, it's about an anesthesiologist. Like, the gist of the joke is that, well, maybe I shouldn't even tell you. But anyway, I have a client who's an anesthesiologist, and she thought that one was pretty funny. And I was kind of thinking about her when I created it. So, it's, some of it they get and some of it they don't. But yeah, as and I guess that's why it took creating a comic strip specifically for massage therapy folks, because, a lot of the stuff that we probably think is funny, other people aren't going to get or think is funny. So, of course, massage clients, are going to get some of it, but.
And
anyway.
so you actually draw all these yourself then, or?
Huh? Okay. Yeah, I draw them. I just draw them with pen and ink, and then I get my technical support team to help me scan them, and we put them into Photoshop, and then I render them or color them in Photoshop, and the text I add in Photoshop too, so it's a legible text. So yeah, that's about as technical as it gets, and then I'm able to upload them to Zazzle or send them to the magazine or whatever I need to do with them. So.
Yeah, and then there's some comments on your page too on Zazzle. One of them says, "Nice to see more clever lines for massage," and then another one, finally some clever massage slogans. So.
Yeah, that's been fun to see people's reaction.
Yeah.
Because as you know, at the end of the day, there's not like you mentioned, there's not a whole lot out there in terms of comedy or humor for massage therapists. I mean, so I think it's a need that is there, and I just really hope people enjoy it. I think they will. The response so far has been really good, and the folks at Massage and Bodywork magazine have been so great, Leslie and Darren, and they're just so fun to work with, and they're really excited, and it gets me excited, and it's really fun.
And then you also have a candy jar. It looks like you could actually use that as a tip jar too. So.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I was thinking about keeping like little, hair bands or whatever in it's a little jar with a cork lid that I put several different designs on. But yeah, that's the other thing about Zazzle. Oh my gosh, every week it seems like they add new products, new items, to which you can add your designs. So, every time you turn around, they're adding new products. So that's kind of fun. And I haven't even probably touched the tip of the iceberg in terms of designing all the products that they have. So.
Yes, definitely. And do you see yourself continuing with this, adding more and more constantly then, or?
To the designs to the shop, or
yep.
Yeah, definitely. And it's before Shane and I got into massage. Well, we've actually had many varied incarnation. One of the things we used to do was own a movie theater, so that explains part of our fascination with video and creating videos and whatnot. And then we did graphic design for a lot of years. We did graphic design. He was into web design, website design. And we had a greeting card company for a while. And so I have just an incredible backlog of designs, from back in the day that one of these days I'll get organized enough to create products on Zazzle. So, yeah, there's a lot there waiting to be unleashed. So.
And then I'm just going to show the viewers really quick too that the cat that's in the lotus pose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's so cute.
That one I did years ago. Gosh, I want to say maybe as long ago as like 95 or something. Maybe it was forever ago. I did that little illustration as a submission to. There was a T-shirt company in Hawaii that was looking for designs, and I put a portfolio of stuff together, and that was one of the designs, and they passed on it. But I tell you, that is like one of my most popular designs. People, since I've been putting it on products on Zazzle, that's one of my best sellers. People love him. So I think he's pretty cute.
And especially cat lovers, too. You got both of those.
Broad appeal, yeah. Because whether you're into cats or yoga or, meditation or anything, So yeah, he's a popular one. Zen Kitty.
Yeah. And then also another one I see. Do you believe in the power of massage? Oh.
Yeah, you know how it goes. Once you start, once you kind of get in the zone and you kind of start thinking in that way, the ideas just start coming at you. And I'll find myself, I have to warn my clients, sometimes I'll be in the middle of a massage and I'll find myself like jotting down an idea or two, because if I let it go, it's gone forever. If I wait till the end of the massage and we get to chit-chatting and blah, 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 and then it's just lost forever. So I find that I have to jot it down. I don't know if you're the same way, but
Yeah.
I have an endless, like, little list, and I think you're like me in that our minds don't have a pause button.
No, don't.
Yeah, it's like there's just no stopping it. It just, you kind of get into it and you get these ideas and they just keep coming, and which is good. I mean, who can complain, right? But
Yeah.
sometimes it'd be nice to
And
time out.
and do you have a better time of the day where you get more creative then, or?
I don't know if there's a time of the day. I've asked this question on that. I put a page together on Facebook also called Being a Massage Therapist. And that's just something I put together for fun. Other massage therapists have fanned it, and I put little questions out there, and we have little conversations. And I try to keep it pretty lighthearted. Like, it's not necessarily like the place for serious discussions about ethical dilemmas and treatment protocols and whatnot. It's kind of more just, I've tried to keep it more lighthearted in terms of, let's just chat. Let's just have a little online cocktail party here and talk about the things that happen to us throughout the day and whatnot. But I've asked that. Now I'm losing my train of thought again. What did you? What were we?
I can't remember.
What's that? I put little questions out there on being a massage therapist. And what did you ask me? Because I was going to talk about a question that I put out there.
Oh, what was it again?
I'm really spacey today.
See, too much humor. Oh, about times you get creative and stuff. And,
Okay.
yeah.
So I put that question out there to other massage therapists, and I said, when during the day, do you get these fantastic ideas? When do they hit you? And I found that the way people answered was very much the way I would answer, which was, one of them is in the shower, and another one is when you're doing massage. I mean, that's like one of my main times that I get a crazy number of ideas. And I think it's just because, it's kind of like that concept in art and music and creative endeavors where you're in the zone, so to speak. And it's like you just kind of able to relax and just do your thing. And it just like opens your mind up to all these fantastic ideas. So I don't know. Are you like that? Do you get really great ideas during massages when you're giving massages?
Yeah, but it's mostly late at night when I can just totally be by myself and stuff. Yeah.
And that's why I also have a paper bed next to my bed because I'll be trying to go to sleep and then I'll have to bolt up and write something down. I suppose you probably do that too.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I wouldn't say there's like a time of the day, but certainly different activities like that will, I guess, just kind of provide enough relaxation and kind of downtime to just open your mind up to those ideas.
Yep.
So,
yeah. And then with what was I gonna say too? Yeah, you're making me spacey too. So when you're actually massaging and you have to jot something down, do you at least keep one hand on the client then?
I do, and sometimes I don't. I actually, in our practice is we do more clinical work, and so we're pretty much rooted in trigger point therapy, and then we use a variety of tools to accomplish the trigger point therapy. So we do cold laser, we do a tool called a DMS, which is like it stands for deep muscle stimulator, so it's a real intense vibration. So as I'm working on clients, I'll be grabbing different tools and, grabbing a hot pack and doing things like that. But I actually do usually, um, I'll usually tell people that I'm going to take a sec to jot something down, because in our practice, it's less emphasis on just the quiet kind of spa relaxation type massage. There's more conversation going on. We're chatting, we're talking about, their pain, and does this hurt, and is this, are you feeling a pain referral somewhere else, blah, blah, blah. So it's a little less awkward to just, interject some other thoughts in there and mention, hey, I just got a great idea, I'm going to jot it down. People don't seem to be bothered by it. Yeah, and certainly we've worked in other environments, like in spas and whatnot, where, it's a much different vibe, and obviously that would not be the time or the place to write down your cartoon idea. But, that's one of the things that we like about our practice and being self-employed, is the nature of our practice. It's unique, and it's what we enjoy, and people get it, they're open to it, and it works for us. So.
And can people hire you for to make designs too? So let's say they have some great ideas, but not a great artist and stuff like that.
That's a good question. I haven't done any of that for a long time. There have been times in the past when I would do projects like that, kind of for hire. I suppose I'd be open to it, but it's not something that I really, market per se. But that becomes a lot more difficult, because translating somebody else's idea into what they're envisioning becomes a lot more challenging, rather than just doing it for yourself,
Yeah, especially once let's say you do something totally for them and it's all done, and give it to them and they want something changed. It's kind of hard with drawings,
Yeah, it is. It's hard, it's hard. A lot of, that's something that I think can quickly take the joy out of creative endeavors. Like if you're real artistic and creative and you like to do that kind of thing, trying to fulfill somebody else's expectations in that way can be kind of frustrating, and like I said, kind of take the joy out of it, as opposed to just doing your own thing and doing what you've envisioned for yourself. Yeah.
And who do you test your ideas out on then?
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm kind of funny, and I just keep them a secret until they're all done. And yeah, even with Shane, sometimes I'll run them by him, but then sometimes I'm like, no, it's not going to translate well until it's all finished. So I just wait. And, there can be inherent risk in that too, but, but yeah, it's kind of, that's kind of the artist's dilemma, I guess, is to decide whether or not you're receptive to constructive criticism before the final product is unveiled.
Yeah. And what can we expect from you in the future then?
Well, the cartoon's going to be in AVMP's Massage and Bodywork magazine for the next year, which will be really fun. And Shane and I are working right now on a web series. It's a video project that is also a lot of fun. I was telling you earlier that this is going to be a really cool project that is educational, but it's funny, and we think it's pretty funny, and I think that's going to help really drive home the educational aspect. So that's all I'm going to say for now. It's kind of still a top secret project, but we're getting there with it, and I think it's going to be a big hit. So.
And I've read some studies in the past too that when students are indulged with humor in the classroom, they're more likely to remember things too. So
I think, yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, I think of a lot of the professors that I had in college and massage school and every place, and the ones who were funny, they really got their point across, and those were some of the things that really stuck with me. There's something there that just really helps solidify things in your mind when you associate them with with a humorous or, enjoyable experience. It's kind of like scent, like when you smell a certain scent, you'll forever be taken back to that place and time. And I think humor does the same thing in a way. It helps you really, it helps drive points home. And again, like I was saying earlier, I think it makes you more receptive to the information. Puts you in a relaxed state, and it makes you able to absorb things better. So it's super, super important in a teaching or educational environment. And let's face it, what we do in our clinics, in our practices, is, in our practice anyway, is mostly education, and so using the humor to drive home the educational aspects that we're trying to share with our clients is really useful. And a lot of clients, I think, are somewhat surprised by it because they haven't experienced that before. But again, I think it helps with, with client retention and just making that connection that helps people really get what you're talking about and really want to, continue to work with you on their therapeutic journey. So.
And then what's the best way for people to get a hold of you then?
Well, people can email me at susan@tigerlilystudios.com, and it's Tiger, Lily, studios.com. And folks are always welcome to email me. I get a kick out of corresponding with other therapists, and then on Facebook, I'm all over Facebook. We've got Facebook pages for our massage practice, for Tiger Lily Studios, for the like I mentioned, the Being a Massage Therapist page is a fun place for people to congregate. And I set up the Facebook page for A Touch of Humor is the name of the cartoon strip. I don't know, did we ever even say that? Maybe we didn't.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, no. Anyway, A Touch of Humor is the name of the comic strip. And so I set up a fan page or what do you call it now? Not a fan page, a
business page or this page, yeah. So there's all depends on what Facebook wants to call it each week. So
something different. Yeah. So anyway, there is a page on Facebook dedicated to A Touch of Humor, and folks can fan that or like it or whatever you do these days. And I'm going to be sharing the cartoons there, and so lots of ways to get in touch with me. And of course, Zazzle, the Zazzle shop, which is zazzle.com/Tiger Lily Studios *. So yeah, and your position with Bon Vital is so exciting, and I'm just really excited about this whole thing. I'm excited for you, and I'm excited that a big company like that in the massage industry is really kind of being a trailblazer in terms of social media and just really committing so much to using social media, because it's such a huge, it's so important. It's so integral to, doing business these days. And, and of course, as you're finding with the social media, the humor is a huge aspect of that. I mean, if you're going to use it effectively, incorporating some humor, is going to be the best way. I don't, you had mentioned this too. I don't really have any statistics to back it up, but I have heard that, a video that's going to go viral, so to speak, is you have so much better chance of that happening if it's humorous. I mean, humor spreads like wildfire because people need it. People need humor in their lives. I mean, we all do. We all have these, kind of just days where, you just kind of, you see some silly little thing on Facebook that makes you chuckle, and it just, it's great. It's kind of a little pick me up, and we all need that. So
yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, social media is where it's at. I mean, people don't want to get off of Facebook. That's the problem. So
those little e-cards. I saw one the other day that said something like, people say if you do what you love, the money will follow, but who's going to pay me to sit around and be on Facebook and get pedicures all day? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, when that kind of job comes up, let me know.
You'll, you'll get the memo.
Yep, definitely. Well, it's a pleasure talking to you again. You're always a blast and always humorous.
Love talking to you, and because you love to laugh, and that's, it's so awesome to hear you laugh, and just to, it's just nice to chat with someone, who's so laid back and, doesn't get too uptight about anything. And
Nope.
that's the way a massage therapist should be, right?
Yep, exactly. Well, thank you, Susan. And thanks everybody for tuning in too.
Oh, thank you, Bon Vital,
Yep,
for having me on this great show.
thanks.